esquina, la gente se pone a murmurar. Hi, hopefully this is recording and hopefully I've captured your attention. I'm Carmen Milagro. Thank you for joining me during this global quarantine. I'm a confidence strategist, entrepreneur artist, a patent holder, lead vocalist, band leader, dreamer, visionary, and for today, your person. I'm your person who's going to review some tips on how to access your inner joy. Notice I'm not pretending to teach you how to keep your spirits up, but rather I'm simply here to remind you that no matter how old you are, you already have this well of joy within you designed to keep your spirits up and sustain the hope that lives within you. In all of us, really. I truly believe we all have this reserve of joy within because no one has had a life without at least one single moment of pure bliss and joy, just as no one has had a lifetime of zero sadness. I also want to state for the record, I'm not claiming to have all the answers. No one does. But sometimes we just need a tip or 2 or 8 on how to access our pool of joy within, how to tap into your best resource, which is you. So these are my tips that I'm sharing with you today, sprinkled with a little levity, I hope, so that you can create some fun out of nothing and start some new habits that allow you to experience joy, maybe in a different way than you have before. In these next few minutes, I'm going to share with you 8 tips. So, are you ready? Tip number 1. Start each day with an appreciation ritual, just for a moment. Count and say out loud. And this is important. State your blessings out loud. Give them the voice of purpose. Let yourself hear your voice. I've created a morning ritual with Carmen Milagro on YouTube every Monday morning at 8:30 a.m. Now, you don't have to post on YouTube, but I do this I have my morning rituals every morning, but for others, I share it on Monday mornings. And in that morning ritual, I read positive, kind messages, emails, texts. Sometimes I reread them to remind me of my daily purpose. And also, each day at precisely 12:34 a.m. and p.m., I write down what I'm most grateful for. Why 12:34? Because it's a trigger. It's a reminder for me. 12:34 is 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you grateful for? All right, so tip number 2. This you'll kind of find is my go-to method. I want you to listen to music. Now, why music? Well, I hope that you'll really listen. If you were lucky enough to have a pretty great childhood, chances are there's an entire childhood soundtrack of tunes that are connected to that childhood joy. And maybe that'll bring some of those memories back for you. Or remind yourself of places that you traveled to as an adult that made you really happy, right? I mean, if you have special memories of your trip to Spain, then stop and take a breath and listen to the sounds of Sevilla. Listen to the sounds of that flamenco guitar and the cajon. Or if the gym is your happy place where you find joy and feel good, then listen to the same radio station that they play at your gym normally. Or pull out your Richard Simmons oldies but goodies workout music or whatever it takes. You know, just enjoy it and listen. Now, we're on tip number 3, which is really kind of tied into tip number 2. And I say, dance to the music that you love. Dance to the music that moves your soul. If you're quarantined with your whole family or you're home alone, dance. Whether you're a pro like John Travolta or you dance like Elaine on Seinfeld, who cares? Dance like no one is watching, because unless you've turned on your camera like I have, no one is watching. And if they were watching, they probably wouldn't care. Now, tip number 4 is a little bit more geared towards just sort of life in general. Tip number 4 I have for you today is celebrate every single day at least one accomplishment, big or small, planned or not. If you're like me, then this should be no problem, because your to-do lists, well, also, if you're like me, your to-do lists have to-do lists, which then give birth to more to-do lists. But if you accomplish one thing, one task every day, then pat yourself on the back, because if you live alone, you're all you've got. So take advantage of that positive reinforcement. One very interesting side effect of practicing tip number 4 every single day is maybe by the time this lockdown is over, you'll probably never need validation or a pat on the back from someone else ever again. Tip number 5. Have you ever heard a child ask for permission to use their imagination? I haven't. So my tip number 5 is just play. Start play acting. Dress up with your children. And I mean really play at dress up with them. Your clothes aren't going anywhere either, so why not? I recently read a friend's Facebook post that she and her husband were dressing up in costumes to attend a family COVID-19 costume party with their children at home. And I literally laughed out loud with pure joy when I read that, because their children are grown adults. So if you ever wanted to be an actor, to perform, act out some scenes right now. Just do it. Do it today. Why not? What's stopping you? There are no rules during quarantine 2020. We're all just making this up as we go along anyway. So who cares? Have fun with this. Use your imagination. Don't ask for permission. Learn from your children. And hopefully you'll recapture your sense of wonder and fun. And then you're only steps away from joy. Tip number 6 is kind of along the same lines as tip number 5. But tip number 6 is one specific little nugget. And that's practice smiling. Yep, you heard me. Stand in front of the mirror and practice your various smiles. You have different ones, you know. Give your face muscles a workout. What's the worst that can happen? Someone smiles at you today, and that someone is your gorgeous, beautiful self, or you crack yourself up because you look so silly. Which leads me to tip number 7. Laugh out loud. Don't just spell it LOL or choose an emoji. Laugh out loud. Do the action. Watch funny movies. Dress up and dance like a chicken. Whatever it takes, just laugh. Laugh at yourself. Laugh with someone. You know, I think laughing with someone is really, really great if you have that. But if you don't, just laugh anyway. Now, tip number 8, it's very simple, and I hope that you'll remember it. Each day, to me, it's like sidewalk chalk art. If the day didn't turn out as you had imagined or as you had planned or as you had hoped, then scrub it clean. It's like a bad hairdo. All you have to do is wash, rinse, and repeat again. I hope these tips inspire you to access joy in ways that'll work for you. Perhaps in the process of lifting your spirits, you'll also help to lift someone else's. And if all else fails and you need another reminder or refresher, feel free to rewatch this clip so you can giggle or laugh at my expense. I promise I won't know if you're laughing at me or with me, And if you laugh at me and it brings you a little tiny bit of joy, I'm okay with that. So I do hope that you can find some joy and a little sense of wonder here and there. I know you can do this. And if you need a little boost of extra joy, eat that little bit of dark chocolate. That's my go-to. But of course, be mindful of your health. Or wear your favorite glamorous necklace that you got for your birthday, or wear your wildest crazy hat and own it. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Carmen Milagro, and feel free to join me also on Tuesday evenings at 7 o'clock. If you've got nothing going on, tune in to Confidence Strategies 101, where you can discover that joy, as I believe, is also really connected to confidence. And we're live each week, so you never know what can happen on that either. Have a great day. I hope to continue this conversation with you all and share some other tips in the future. Ciao for now. Bye.